Hey guys, Crispy Bacon here with another build for you. This video will showcase a PvE Warlock build that I call Felwinter Corrupted. This build was originally inspired by one of my subscribers, so shout out to Flint for the great idea. This build features constant crowd control, huge burst damage potential in close quarters, infinite special ammo, very rapid ability cooldowns, as well as consistent overshields and chain lightning. As you may have guessed, you're going to need the exotic Warlock helmet known as Felwinter's helm. We'll get into the rest of the armor in just a second, but first I think it's important we talk about weapons. The most important weapon for this build is going to be the Lord of Wolves exotic shotgun. If you don't have Lord of Wolves, you can always switch that out for the Felwinter's Lie shotgun that just came out, although Lord of Wolves is definitely going to suit this build better. And to fit the theme even better, you can throw on the Splice of Life exotic ornament for the Lord of Wolves to go with the Siva corruption theme. If you are using the Felwinter's Lie, you can equip the Outbreak Perfected in your primary slot, and that fits the theme really well, and it's a very decent gun. Well, if you are using Lord of Wolves in this case, make sure you equip a 7th Seraph primary weapon in your kinetic slot, but again, both of these setups will work for this build, so you can go either way. And as for the heavy slot, we'll be using the 7th Seraph Saw with auto-loading holster and Vorpal weapon, and you can throw a boss spec on that just to be safe. Now before we move on to armor, stats, and mods, I do want to talk about Lord of Wolves for just a second. Lord of Wolves has some of the highest burst potential when it comes to shotguns, and that's because it fires a salvo of bullets instead of one shot with multiple pellets. Additionally, after you hold down the reload button, you can switch to a faster firing mode that fires 10 shots instead of 5. Using the Release the Wolves firing mode when in close proximity or even point blank is the ideal way to use this weapon, as it optimizes the DPS. In the right scenarios, Lord of Wolves can even easily out DPS other powerful options, including supers. But back to armor, let's talk about Felwinter's helm. When killing enemies with a powered melee attack or a finisher, you actually debuff and stun every enemy within close proximity to you. The stun is very useful when in close proximity, and the debuff is not too shabby, making enemies take 30% more damage as opposed to the 35% that the Hunter's Tether provides, all for just one finisher or melee. As for mods, our helmet will use the Special Ammo Finder mod, and as for the rest of the armor set, we'll actually be using a full arc armor set with the following mods. For the arms, we'll be using Enhanced Impact Induction and Strength of Rasputin. For the chest, we'll be using Shotgun Reserves and Sheltering Energy. For the legs, we'll use Machine Gun Scavenger, Shotgun Scavenger, and Blessing of Rasputin. And then for the bond, we'll use Pump Action, Special Finisher, and Modular Lightning. As for stats, we'll want to prioritize Mobility, Recovery, and Intellect. And then as for our subclass, we'll be using Middle Tree Stormcaller, known as Attunement of Control. So the main combo of this build revolves getting into close quarters and then using our Lord of Wolves, our melee attacks, and our finishers as much as possible. This makes it so that every enemy around us is debuffed and stunned so that we can go up to it and finish it quickly with Lord of Wolves. Now this is all thanks to the Felwinter's helm, as well as the warmind cells and warmind cell mods that happen and trigger when we kill an enemy with either our primary or our heavy weapon. Now when we run over and pick up these warmind cells, we actually get a huge list of benefits that happen all at the same time. When we pick up a warmind cell, we get 50% of our melee energy back due to Strength of Rasputin, we get an overshield thanks to Sheltering Energy, we create Chain Lightning because of Modular Lightning, and because of Blessing of Rasputin, when killing an enemy with our 7th Seraph weapon, we'll actually have a higher chance to spawn another warmind cell if we just picked one up. And on top of all these benefits we get from warmind cells, because we're using Middle Tree Stormcaller, Attunement of Control, whenever we get a kill, we have a chance to create an Ionic Trace, which actually gives us ability energy for our melee, grenade, and even our super. Now this is actually a great transition into talking about super energy and how we're using it. Now earlier I mentioned that this build has essentially infinite special ammo, but how do we actually get that to happen? So yes, we have the Special Ammo Finder mod, Shotgun Reserves, as well as Shotgun Scavenger, but that's not quite enough. So what I did was add Special Finisher so that we can use our finisher to create special ammo, and this actually synergizes very well with this build. The first reason is because we're getting a ton of super energy between pump action and the ionic traces that we're creating. And if you happen to have the catalyst for the Lord of Wolves, that's actually making orbs, which gives you more super energy as well, which then translates into special ammo. And additionally, whenever we're using a finisher on an enemy to create special ammo, we're also proccing the Felwinter's Helm exotic perk. So every finisher that we use stuns enemies, debuffs them, and then creates special ammo on top of that. And if you happen to have the catalyst for the Lord of Wolves, that's actually making orbs, which gives you more super energy as well, which then translates into special ammo. So again, the main combos for this build are using Lord of Wolves to kill as many enemies as possible in addition to bosses. When we're killing these enemies, we're giving ourselves super energy, which we then translate into special ammo by using finishers. When we're using these finishers and melees, we're actually stunning and debuffing enemies thanks to the Felwinter's helm. And when we're not using Lord of Wolves, we're using our 7th Seraph weapons to create warmind cells, which gives us overshields, arc lightning, as well as our melee energy back. So anyways guys, that will about do it for the commentary on this video. If you have any further questions about the build, feel free to contact me in the comments section or within our Discord. We talk a lot about builds over there and we'd love to have you join up. And we're getting pretty close to 10,000 subscribers, which would be a huge milestone for me. And again, I already appreciate all of you that have already subscribed. The rest of the video will be some raw gameplay from both Seraph Towers event as well as some Menagerie. And with that, I hope you can see what this build really looks like in its moment-to-moment gameplay to give you a better feel for it. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good one.
Show 'em what you can do. Valkyrie's ready. Support tower overwhelmed. Heavy frame joining the party. Rasputin sending the javelin your way. Enemy is moving in on the support tower. Eyes up, Guardians. Support tower's under attack. Nice. Heavy frame joining the fight. Valkyrie's ready. Go for it. Support tower under attack. Drive them back. Javelin online. Support tower. Support tower overwhelmed.
We thank you, Guardian.